Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Thursday, January 26th. It's 2023 still, 12:49 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Let me make sure my microphone is working and things like that. Yep, all is working. Okay, so once again, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Let's get on with this. I'll try to rock through it really, really fast because I know the shorter the better. All right, so looking at FinViz here at the market in general. The Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P definitely opened with a little bit of weakness. I think they all closed just barely in the green so far today. I think the market's closed now, right? Oh, no, market's still open. Sorry about that. My timing is way off. So anyway, right now, after opening somewhat weak, the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 are all in the green. Nasdaq at 0.37. Sorry about that. Dow at 0.37. Nasdaq at 1.3 and S&P at 0.76. Looking at the S&P 500, of course, explicitly because it's very, 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 very similar to Bitcoin. They seem to like mirror each other. They're like a couple that finishes each other's sentence, you know. Anyway, Apple, Google, Amazon doing good today. Tesla up 9.11%. That is insane. Not sure what's going on there, but something's going on. Maybe they found a bunch of new rare earth minerals or something. The energy sector definitely in the green today. Maybe they found some more dinosaurs. All right, so looking at US dollar, DXY strength index here in the middle, top. It's a green day today, but as you can see, it's been on this downwards channel for a good number of days. On the daily chart, it's below the 200 moving average and the 314 moving average, and that is potty. So DXY definitely trending back towards hell, where it actually was where it was born. So anyway, DXY continues a downward spiral, even though it has a green day today. This is kind of good. I do think it gives the market the ability to do some upwards movement. I like that. I don't like to root against my own team, but DXY keep dumping hardcore. Anyway, looking at U.S. oil spot here, top left, green day today. Nice to see. Below all important moving averages on the daily though. Although do note this pattern here. Take it for what it's worth. W's to me oftentimes equal win. Just saying. And M's equal morbid. Just play with that. Look at your charts. Anyway, here's another W right here. So win. S&P 500 maybe climaxing on a huge win pattern. Anyway, with that said, let me keep rocking here. Give a look at that. Boom. S&P 500 green day today, almost open with a gap, looking good. It's above the 200 moving average on the daily chart. That's pretty strong. I like what I'm seeing. Bitcoin, indecisive day. Gold, red day. Silver, big old wicks on a green day. Indecisive day, I would say, with big wicks. Sound like a weather forecast. Today will be indecisive with big wicks. Right, looking at, this is kind of interesting here, looking at spot trading on the big exchanges, all in the green in general today. Not super hot volume, but they're almost all, I think like 98% of them are in the green. Not a super hot spot trading volume day, but it is in the green. Looking at derivatives here on Binance, about 50s awesome, 60s are amazing, 70s off the charts. Getting above even 20 has been hard last couple weeks, but check this out. We're at 60, basically 62 billion in derivatives, up 19.66% last 24 hours. And that to me means we're definitely getting a lot of leverage in there. So watch out. I think the leverage trades are kind of a little bit extreme right now. And when leverage gets too high, one way or the other, you know what happens. So looking at Bitcoin, 23,060. Top 100, most are either slightly in the green or very in the green or nicely in the green. Aptos, APT doing quite well. Phantom doing quite well. eCash, what is eCash? ZEC doing quite well today also. Polygon doing really good. All right, Cardano, 5.7%. Ooh, that's a nice thing to see. Definitely fulfilling a lot of hearts and dreams right there. A lot of Cardano fans out there. Looking at blockchain whispers to see spot trading. I'm sorry, looking at blockchain whispers to see longs versus shorts ratio for Bitcoin and Ethereum. For Bitcoin at 55% long, 44% short. So a long bias for Bitcoin on Binance, and for Ethereum, 55% long, 44% short. So definitely slightly long bias for Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance. This is a cool indicator I wanted to share. Volume spread for VSA. This guy's cool. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in the live chat. So if you're not watching live, you're not going to see it. So anyway, there, live chat. This indicator is pretty cool. What it shows is volume, and it doesn't go like buy or sell as in green and red. It just totals the volume, and blue is very little, green is average, yellow is slightly more than that, and red is a lot. So it's a combination of buy and sell. And I find that seeing that is actually more useful than just seeing buy and sell. So boom, there you go. I find this to be very, very good. And when you're looking for a trade, you want to really note, is that buy sell volume trending up or trending down. You can actually use this for divergence. I find that it's very useful, very, very useful for many things. There we go. I shared that. Check it out. If you're on TradingView, install that thing and see how it works for you. I think it's a very, very useful indicator. Bitcoin today sideways. As you can see, we have been ranging for a while now, pretty darn sideways, maybe with the slightest downwards trend. Okay, so this is a 45-minute chart. Now what I wanted to note is this is basically, I'm just kind of wondering if we're going to see something like this happen. Let me actually go to 4 hours so we can see things a little bit more clearly. If you look at a 4-hour chart, like I've mentioned before, I think that Bitcoin is stepping. We'll see what happens. I mean, no guarantees, but I kind of think that when Bitcoin gets in this kind of mood, this is what it does. So I think we're seeing steps, and if I zero in enough, I mean, you can even see more. So, what's going to come of this, I don't know, but it's stepping up. Dunk, 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 dunk. Right now, looking at the 4-hour chart, directional index is beginning to trend down. Squeeze indicator is trending down. Directional index is in the green. ADX is beginning to perk up. And we're seeing some volume spikes, bunk, bunk, bunk in the yellow. So that's kind of nice. So we're seeing the possibility of, I think, another step. And I know this is somewhat not as scientific as some would like it, and I did show it to people yesterday, but still, I mean, look at these trend lines, bonk, bonk, and let's take that and put it up here. Okay, let's take this trend line right here, just recent ones, kind of just capture that direction, that angle. Let's put those there. Now these aren't quite as big, but still, if we look at that and then take a and then grab a forecast, if we were to actually do that, that would be a quick 7%. And that also, which is very, very important, this line right here around 24,500, that is the 314 moving average on the daily chart. So let's fire up a daily chart. That's definitely a place where we might see some resistance. But if we can break above that, that would be phenomenal. So basically, I think that's just my take on it. And that would be a powerful moving average to get above. Right now, we're above the 200 moving average on the daily. We get above that 314 on a logical further step. There you go. Now, is that totally scientific? Is there plenty of room to flame my ass off on that one? Yes, and I thank you for your input. But hey, you know what I mean? If I prove to be right, well, then there you go. You can you can visualize kissing my butt while you take a long walk off a short pier. It might happen. Anyway, so directional index here is beautiful on the, squeeze indicator is beautiful on the daily. Directional index is looking good, and we have nice volume spikes coming in on the, so really, this certainly could happen, and I'm really watching that. When we get about that 314, if we go up, come back down, test it, find support, move up, that is going to be a powerful moment. And what else can we play with right now at the moment? Let me actually maximize this chart. Let me get rid of this stuff here, remove the 7 drawings. And let me do like this real quick. I always do this and I'm sure it must get a little bit boring, but still. Going back here when we visited the 3Ks back in March of 2020, doing a fib sequence, if we take a look, boom, we've gotten a nice, beautiful bounce off the 786, and that's wonderful. Getting ready to challenge that 314 right around, 20, yeah, 24,000, yeah, 24,500 or so. And then above that is the 618 golden pocket, which starts right around 26,814. Then the actual 618 is 28,891. So really, this is just a huge subsequence. It has in general worked. The 314 is quite a powerful moving average. You can even see how in the past there has been a slight reaction to it, even before it existed as it does today. This is a big deal. Let's see if we get above it. If we do, to me, that's definitely some serious upwards Lambo action. Will it continue? I don't know, but we'll just see. Right now, Bitcoin's pushing, and my take on it is, when you're pushing this hard, it's kind of like, when you got a race car in the red, and that tachometer is maxed out, and you're on the turn, your tires are smoking. Are you going to make it or not? Hard to tell. All in a drag race is that you got it floored. You're going as fast as you can, and you're trying to get to the end of the line before the other guy, or beat your last best time or whatever. But Bitcoin right now is stressed. It's pushing hard. A lot of alts are. How long will it last? Who cares? Get some gains while you can, if you can. I'm looking at Bitcoin versus USDT here on the 2-hour chart. I like the 2-hour MACD. I find that it's very magical. There's something about it. The 2-hour MACD and Bitcoin just really have this synergy. And right now, it was heading towards a negative cross, but it just managed to not do it. And from what I'm seeing here, maybe we're getting a slightly positive histogram. Let's see if this tangent of the MACD on the 2-hour pulls towards the positive and doesn't make that negative cross. I think we're definitely in some interesting territory. Okay, so right now, 2-hour MACD for Bitcoin is trending towards a possible positive. So let's see what happens. If that actually breaks positive, that tangent for the MACD turns up on the 2-hour, definitely I think that spike past the 314, or at least challenging it, is definitely possibly on the cards. We're heading that way more than we are not. Ethereum, not the most exciting chart. Definitely it's had a run up. It's doing pretty good. One thing about I just wanted to point out, look at the BARTs on this thing. It BART, like, boom, what a massive BART pattern. Look at this, boom, pretty nasty BART pattern. And you can even see one here. I just noticed a real series of that BART pattern happening. Anyway, Ethereum right now, it's cooling off. It's a 45-minute chart. Let's look at a 4-hour chart real quick for Ethereum. 4-hour chart, it's looking pretty good in some ways on the 4-hour chart. But if you look at the squeeze indicator, it's going in the negative. Directional X is in the negative. Let's just see what happens. It's all about, will it continue this channel? Honestly, my take on it is, if Bitcoin doesn't quite fit. If Bitcoin stays happy, Ethereum will probably stay happy, in my opinion. It'll probably continue this upwards trend. It's just going to kind of do what Bitcoin's doing with some BARTs thrown in there. Not particularly excited about Ethereum right now. Looking at Litecoin. One thing about Litecoin, I talked about it yesterday. It's kind of like the forgotten coin, sort of. People have forgotten about it, but it does seem that institutional money might be getting into it right now. But look at this beautiful uptrend it's been in ever since. This is just a 45-minute chart extended for quite a ways. This is looking at like December 30th of last year. And if we look at this thing, get this forecast, bonk, where are we at right now? Right now we are, we're 31% up in the last 27 days. So this thing has been maintaining an upwards channel. And in general, I kind of like what I'm seeing here. Talked about it yesterday. You can watch that video if you want. But my take on it, looking at the daily chart, going way back in the 3-day chart, looking at the weekly chart, it does look like a while back. And maybe some institutional money has come into this. That's something that Jonathan Regan noticed over at Blockchain Education. And I think definitely you can check them out over at bitcoindaily.com. There's a link for that. Let's see what happens. Right now, it's not holding the 200 moving average very well, or the 314 moving average. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. Let it render. Although on the 4-hour chart, we're well above the 200 and the 314. We're cooling off. We're probably going to visit the bottom of this channel on the 4-hour chart. but I'm feeling kind of good about it. Let's just see if the institutional money is coming into Litecoin, they can't hide it, and I think it's been apparent for a little while. So that maybe that is the case. I'm just going to watch it. Not financial advice, but I am working on getting some positions built in Litecoin, letting those get in the green. Put a stop loss below them once they profit a bit, because I'm not going to ride it to the bottom if it doesn't go that way. But I'm kind of setting up the possibility of a trade here in a long position where I kind of go to the bottom, right about here. Just go to the bottom of this channel, stop loss below it. And then, what if you ride back to the top? That's like 15% and a stop loss right below the bottom of this channel. That's kind of my plan. I think actually I might move this whole thing maybe right about here or so, maybe even about here. If I was to put a buy in, I'd probably try to nail right the bottom of this channel, have a little limit order waiting for it, and just put my stop below it and ride back to the top of this channel, which probably be about here. Anyway, guys, like I say, I don't like to really give trade advice, so not financial advice, but this is just one that I'm watching. I think definitely Litecoin. Like I say, if the institutional money is moving into it, then it's definitely going to be a great play to be in, and probably has more upwards potential short term than Bitcoin. All right. One of the blockchain education crew noticed this one today. DYDX versus Tether. This is on KuCoin and Binance. I like that because it means most people can probably play it. Directional index is sporting back up. Sorry about that. I got them backwards today. Directional index going strong. ADX in the right spot. Squeeze indicator looking good. Volume was pretty heavy a little while ago, kind of trailing off. You might almost call that. I'm finding divergence on the volume here is kind of something I've been starting to play with a little bit, and it seems to actually work, although we're not seeing it on the squeeze indicator or the DX or the directional index. So, but anyway, this thing's been moving like crazy. That's what I'm saying. Don't sit around, just my unsolicited advice, my non-financial unsolicited advice. Don't sit around waiting for the bull run, just sitting with your tether waiting to buy Bitcoin when one day that happens or something. This DYDX, this is beautiful. This is a nice trade. It's looking strong. It's not too far. It's on the moving 8. Some people use the moving 9. I like the moving 8. The trade genius guys like the moving 9. Blockchain education guys like the moving 8. I like the moving 8.5. Anyway, so this is looking good. This is a strong chart. It's kind of visited the top of the ATR range there. Let me look at a 45-minute chart to get a better read on this thing. I'm sorry, 4-hour chart. Yeah, 4-hour chart moving up, looking strong. Oh, 4-hour chart, you can see this big volume very, very clearly, looking good. Whenever I see a move like this, I kind of just like to wait on the shorter time frame for some kind of a little bit of a pullback. This thing is pushed pretty hard pretty quickly, but definitely I'm watching this one. I'm going to kind of see if we can get a bottom of a channel run. And like I say, the kind of plays I'm looking at right now are alts in their channels against USDT or against Bitcoin. I'm just going to watch the sucker get to the bottom of the channel, probably put, a trade in there, a limit for the bottom of the channel where I think it might hit it. And look at that, that's a possible 18% or so if it rides back to the top of the channel from there. So just saying, watch these range bound. When you see something which is healthy, like one thing I like about this is that 45-minute chart looks good. How about the 4-hour chart? See if you can go 4-hour and 45-minute or hourly and daily, like is this guy above the 200 moving average on the daily chart? That's super strong, daily chart. Yes. And as you can see, this probably explains a little bit. It just basically burst above the 200, of course, on the daily, made it above the 314. Now it's going to have a hard time. It's going to need to actually get up there and come back, test, and keep going. So this daily chart looks powerful. A lot of volume coming in. Nice clean break above the 200 moving average. It made the 200 moving average and 314 cross within like 3 candles. So that gives it a blue diamond merit badge. All the mid ribbons on the daily are green. Hey, this guy is moving up. So here's the deal. I mean, bull market, bear market, who cares? If you can sit in this guy, if you find a good entry, you could just sit there and make money. Just get your stop in, trailing take profit, hopefully, and protect your gains, right? Versus BTC, it's only on Binance and OKX, but look at that against Bitcoin. 4-hour chart, Look, this is wonderful on the daily. This thing is making a nice push. So like I say, if it even does this again, you're looking at, let's say it runs equivalent again, trend line. And let's look at that 200 break. Let's go up to here, bam, that trend line. If it was to do that again, things tend to do what they've done in the past, I've noticed, kind of like people. Let's look at that. Let's say it runs again. Forecast. If it runs again from where it's sitting, let's just go like middle of this bar. Boom, 91%. Let's say you catch 50 of that. Boom. Glorious, glorious trade. So DYDX versus BTC or USDT. USDT is nice because you can play it on Binance or KuCoin and Polynex, BitGet, Gate.io, etc. I like coins on a lot of exchanges. I think it gives them the opportunity to definitely have obviously more liquidity. More people can get in the game. Look at these red candles. That volume is cranking up. This thing's probably going to continue. I love what I'm seeing. This is a darn nice trade. Pushing hard right now. Cooling off a little bit. I'm going to give this to the end of the day and probably check on it tonight or tomorrow morning. Not quite ready to hop in it. If I did, I'd put a tight stop. So I like the way it looks. ENC here is a good trade. Well, I shouldn't say it's a good trade, but ENQ BTC is about stacking some Bitcoin sats. Here's the deal. Whether we're in a bull market or a bear market, this is over on KuCoin, so you can play it on KuCoin or Binance. Nice move up, nice channel. This thing's moving good. It's candles by Sam shows some serious downwards momentum. I could see this thing here, looking at this 45-minute chart. I could see this one here finding a bottom of this channel and then moving back up. And if it was to move back up and you were to hop in bottom of the channel, what might you gain from that? That could be like 28-30%. So that could be pretty darn groovy. Even halfway up that channel to the heartbeat would be like 17%. So there's always some money to be made. That could be some sweet Bitcoin sats right there. And you can probably trade it against Tether also if you so desired. What else is doing good? Audio versus BTC. I like this one. This is a perfect example of listen to the hourly chart. When something pumps like crazy, comes down, look at that. It kind of bounced at a logical location on the 618. Indicator's been that somewhat hard to play, but then again, when you see it picking up, that's when the that's when the squeeze indicator started back up. Directional index was actually trending down, so a little bit of a hard play to get into, but I'm going to watch this one. I'm watching Audio BTC. It's all above the 200 moving average. It's looking good. Strong break above the 200 and 314 when it did it. I'm going to watch this thing for another bounce off a logical fib level. It's a little bit too abstract right now. I don't like it, but just as an example, there are good plays out there. Phantom versus USDT. This one is beautiful. Strong indicators. Right now it's chilling out. My guess is this guy's going to come back down, bounce off the top of this channel, and then keep going, or get back in the channel, bounce, and keep going. This guy's been on a beautiful, rather powerful uptrend since January 20th. Nice and choppy, but not too choppy. This is a real beautiful swing trade. I know I'm looking at very short time frames there. That's a 45-minute chart, but even on like the 4-hour chart, you can see some beautiful things. These purple candles, the candles by Sam, they show a beautiful, powerful upwards momentum. It would not surprise me if this guy found support on top of this channel and kept moving. Right now, it's a little played out, but still may have room to go. Wait for some kind of a retrace, but definitely this is one that I've been trading up and down. I think it's definitely a good chart. Just keep an eye on it. The hourly chart's looking pretty easy to read right here. Let's watch for a bounce. So Phantom, Phantom FTM versus USDT. I like this one because you can play this on Binance and KuCoin. If you can play it on those two, it means you can probably get in on it. Most people can get in on it somewhere or the other. Also on Binance US, I like that. Good exchange. Definitely has gotten more liquidity, and it's gotten some. A lot more trading pairs on it. So Binance.us, definitely an exchange that I used to make fun of, but I use now all the time. Now, with that said, let me just check things here. Okay. And now for that part of the episode, which I try to make super, super quick. some news, because I do think news affects world events, affects the charts, etc. Let's just rock out some news, okay? Anyway, news. Let's look at some news. Dianne Feinstein introduces bill to ban 205 assault weapons. Anyway, this old witch is back. Whatever. It's interesting that she rears her nasty head right now. I just think I think it'll probably get shot down, but for whatever reason, the forces of evil are at work once again. WW3 Watch. German foreign minister declares we are fighting a war against Russia. This is a big deal. And I mentioned some of these geopolitical events because I think that, well, I get good feedback on them. People seem to like it. But more than that, you have to realize that this, and I listened to some Russian commentators on this, and this has been in the news ever since she said it like a day or two ago. We have to realize that the idea of Germany sending, as they would call them, panzers, tanks, this isn't just old Warsaw Pact, NATO kind of like garbage, Warsaw Pact era, like garbage, old refurbished tanks, old tanks being sent. No, and equipment. This is like somewhat modern. I think these tanks were made. This particular tank was made like in like 72, but I think it was refabbed in like 2007 or so. Anyway, we're sending some valid tanks, or I should say NATO is, but the idea is that Germany sending tanks. And it's why they kind of didn't want to send tanks until we sent them, because I can tell you right now, and I followed this quite emphatically. When Anna, I can't say her first name, Annalena Baerbock, speaking to the parliament there, she's like their head of like foreign policy or something like that, foreign relations. Forget her exact role, but she's at a spot where she can say this. And even though she let this slip, I don't think she let it slip. I think that she just meant it not the way it sounded. I think it meant to be kind of a rallying call. Not sure what her intent was, but when the Russian people heard that Germany is at war with them, and Germany is sending tanks, you have to look at the history of Ukraine and what has happened there and between Russia and Germany. And you have to think about Kursk, and you got to think about Barbarossa. It opened a deep wound. 30 to 50 million, you could say 40 Russian people died, and who knows how many were injured and wounded. There's nobody doesn't have pictures on the wall of somebody who's not there anymore in Russia. Germany saying this was an incredibly bad move. I think she's an idiot. I think she thought it would be a rallying cry or whatever. But anyway, the World War III watch has only gotten that much closer. So beware. This was an incredibly bad move. This was insanely insensitive, and it won't end well. It's not good. And of course, Biden says tanks are not an offensive threat to Russia, but we're sending 31 of them. I guess he believes that we're sending them for no reason, and that a tank is not an offensive thing. I guess these are not assault tanks. These are, I don't know what, SJW tanks or something. Anyway, you don't gotta like Trump, don't gotta hate him. I'm not coming from that perspective whatsoever. I'm not making him a hero. He's not a hero of mine. Okay, so I'm just saying he did tweet something very powerful. First come tanks, then come the nukes. Get this crazy war, end it. You ain't got to marry them. You ain't got to like them. Doesn't matter. You can despise them. Doesn't matter. That statement is very, very truth. Why we have a collective in Western leadership right now, which is insistent. I'm really beginning to believe this, that they're trying to push the world into a for real nuke war. I didn't believe it for weeks, but when I heard Baerbock say that, I was like, they really are, aren't they? At least there's some adversaries in this towards this happening, and if Trump rallies continues to rally a bit of pushback against us in the Senate and the House, good. Which way is Bitcoin going to go? Are we going to see another step up, or is it going to dump or whatever? Well, there's my sentiments. I love the smell of Rex shorts. Smells like victory. And with the crazy Western leadership right now, hell bent on friggin' slinging nukes, go to bitcoindailywiew.com and get yourself some Patriot food supply. Honestly, I use the Patriot Pantry. It's better than that other one. These guys are great. Get yourself some storable food, stick it in the closet, along with stacking some ammo and stuff like that, and make ready, because you know what? Stack all those sats you can before the Western elite get their way and we friggin' burn this rock. So anyway, take care. Remember, the best way to stop war, the best way to have an optimistic science fiction future, which is beautiful for everyone on this planet, from like plankton to strawberries to humans, really is stack sats and chill. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is the ultimate statement. It is a vote towards an optimistic future, and it punches a nasty globalist in the nuts. And it's the #1 deterrent to nuclear war. Every Bitcoin Satoshi, it is a deterrent. So keep stacking them. Do your part to be part of the peaceful revolution. It's the first one ever on a global scale. Amen.